Thank you. We're finishing the Maimer Katnas in Byam, darkecha, page Reish Samach Beis. Reish Samach Beis. Sif Gimel. Before Purim, we were learning the Yesod of the Torah's Chacham. Ein Siluk Moichen La'olam. It's a very, very basic, important Yesod. Ein Siluk Moichen La'olam. When a madrega has been reached, when something has been accomplished in the Avodas Hashem, there's a certain moichen, a certain madrega, a certain place that a person has reached. It really never disappears. It doesn't go away. And all future accomplishments in one's Avodas Hashem are built upon that. Even though you might feel that right now you're in a place of ha'alama, that there's nothing, it's gone. I'm back to zero. I'm starting from Aleph. It's not true. It's not true. That's the katnas. That's not true at all. And that's what we've been talking about. Any schia in ruchnius, any accomplishment in ruchnius is there. It's not never. It's not gone. It's not lost. But the person has to work and to regain his confidence and to build upon that, and Yod Yotetov, better and better. Gimel. Lefi Yesod Zeh, according to this Yesod, Mizbar Heitev, Mashi Yisbar B'Perek HaRishon Shekol Katnus V'Heder Or, any experience of katnus, or a heder or a disappearance of light in your Avodas Hashem, heim tchilas madrega chadasha. In truth, it's the beginning of the next madrega of your life. Somehow HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world, began in a way of Vahi Erev and Vahi Boker. Ki ein siluk moichen la'olam. That's the Yesod. V'mela kol ha'or sheheyu v'gadlus. Therefore, all of the or, all of the light that was shining in your life during a time of gadlus, of great, stronger, heightened connection and awareness. B'ha'adam hirgish b'hius b'metzias Hashem. And during that time, a person felt a b'hius, a clarity in his Avodas Hashem, umesikus, in the sweetness, v'cheshik v'avodosa, and he felt v'cheshik. Zelo ne'elam v'avad chas v'shalom. It's not gone. You don't feel it, but it's not gone. Feelings we'll talk about in the next Maimer, but you don't feel it, but it's still there. All the Yetzer Hara wants to do is to convince you that it's all gone. There's nothing there. Whatever was, it was nice. Maybe it was stam dimyonis, but nothing has remained of that. I'm back to where I started, or even I'm even in a worse place than when I started. The truth is that everything is there. You own it. It's yours. There's a kinyan gomer. You have to get past these thoughts of katnus and continue building upon that which you began with. Right now, you're not feeling this. You don't feel it. Because after one acquires a certain madrega, as I kadesha tala hala, in order to continue on, sarach lavod lahirid as masha kanisa, the toicha madrega sanamuchos. The avodah of katnus, what Hashem's Baruch wants of us, is the same way that by creation there was darkness and there was great light, and the whole tachlis of creation is to bring that that infinite light down into the lowest places of this world. That's the whole tachlis of our being here. So what's the tachlis of going through a difficult time or a place of katnus? The teretz is to bring any of that or that you acquired earlier, to bring it down to the madregos hanemuchos of your life. Very simply put, if you worked on davening, if you worked on emunah, and there was a time that you felt great, you felt so strong emunah, you felt your davening was going. That's beautiful. Right now you feel nothing, and you're in a place of katnus, and it could be that a lot of it has to do with some things that you're going through in life, whatever is going on. The whole tachlis of that aura that you experienced, the emunah, the excitement, was to draw it down into this lower place of your life, into this experience that you're going through. Are you a real mammon? In other words, that emunah that you acquired, use it. It didn't take much to use it on Yom Kippur or like Simchas Beis HaShoeva or some Hanukkah party. It doesn't take much to use it during that time. But to use that or in a way of dir b'tachtonim, mamish, when you're not feeling anything, and to still get up and go to shul, and to still talk nicely to your wife, and to do the things that you have to do in the right way, that's the tachlis of this world. You're not feeling anything. We'll talk more about feelings. The feelings are it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful gift. It's a certain sign of a stopover of a madrega, and then Hashem says, "Okay, very good. I'm proud of you. You hit a certain place. You reach a certain madrega. Go with it." Where am I going? I'm going to the Beis HaMikdash? I'm going to Yerushalayim? No, you're going to Brownsville. I don't know if you know what that is. Okay, someone told me the other day they're fixing it up. But, all right, you're going to a bad place. You're going to a bad place. You're not going to Yerushalayim. You're not going to Beis HaMikdash. You're going to a dark place, a difficult place. I don't mean to insult anybody. There are Jews in Brownsville. I heard now. It's a great place. They should be happy. But you never know. People get crazy with stuff. I once spoke someplace, and it was a yeshiva. They had a building in some neighborhood, not like further out. And I went there to talk to the boys in the 12th grade or something. This many years ago, and I said, I said, where are we? Where is this place? And it turns out that the rabbi, it was in a shul. That school was renting that shul. It had been a conservative shul or something, and then they tried to make it. It never worked out. They tried to make it into community, and the rabbi was sitting in the back somewhere. And he came over afterwards, and he said, "It's unbelievable how I insulted him in front of everybody. He was so upset at me." And I understand why, because he said, "I'm working to build this community," and he started by saying, "Where are we?" Like Kilu, it was obnoxious. He's right. I didn't mean it like that, but it was an obnoxious thing to say. I didn't mean it in a bad way, but it didn't come out so nice. But there are bad places. So the question is, what do you do with that emunah that you got? What do you do with this Simchas Beis HaShoeva? What do you do with it? It was great when the guitar was playing and everybody was dancing and you were feeling so close to Hashem. Fine. It's a madrega, and you acquired something. You put something nice in your pocket, and where do you spend it? So you like to spend it on the Harabayas, or you'd like to spend it in Yerushalayim. And Kadosh Baruch Hu says, there'll be a time for that. We'll talk more about that. But the Ikka place that I created you in the world that I want you to spend that is like with in this difficulty that you're going through right now. Instead of falling apart, give chizuk to the people that need you. Instead of crying and running away and being depressed and popping some pills or something, or smoking a joint, whatever it is you do to get out of that, any artificial thing you do to get out of that darkness, take the emunah of Simchas Beis HaShoeva, of Chanukah, of Purim, of the Seder, of those Zmanei Gadlus, take that emunah, take that tefillah, and bring it into Hamadregas Hanamuchas, into those places, like in and you're creeping around in the tunnels or the basements of your life. Take that light with you into those places. That's the whole point. It doesn't match with our intuition. Our intuition is always like, there's great, and there's bad. The great is gewaldig, the bad is terrible, and that's it. There's a seder, and the seder is a seder of madregas and aliyahs, and the yeridas are only to bring the or into those places of tachtonim, with lower places and lower times, and lower situations in your life. It's the whole seder. The ein silik moichin la'olam. Ein silik moichin la'olam. That or of Purim is waiting for you to take it and to use it in a makom namuch, in a lower place. In a lower place. L'mashal, Adam sheretz alaved al midas hakas. Here's an example. A person wants to work on his temper, on anger, on that midah of kas. Hinik shemeyelo mitzias Hashem zvar. So when things are great, and the or of Hashem, the light of Hashem is strong in his life, it's a time of godless, he has moichin, strong. Azu haven she'ein lo malichos aploni she'asam hasha'asa. When he's in a place of real emunah, then of course he understands, why am I angry at this person? Like, why am I carrying on? If you rock shliach shel Hashem Yisborach, that person has a cheshbon with Hashem. Why is it that he was chosen to give me a hard time? But the mitzvah is just like David Melech said, that he was sent to curse me, and that's it. It's not. What am I getting all worked up about? What am I getting angry about? That person was a shliach from Hashem. Again, it's important that why that person was chosen as a shliach, that's between him and Hashem. But as far as my being subjected to this person's insult, or whatever it is that he's doing, Hashem is sent the shliach. So I'm angry at the guy. I have to take it up with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. My inyanim, take it up with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Talk to him about it, whatever. Do tshuva, whatever you need to do. Tefillah, tzedakah. But to be angry at the guy's a shliach. Because that was God. Now, when the person was in a place of Mechin the Gadlus, when his emunah was strong, and he was learning chassidus and musa, and he's strong in this place of his gabrus, and emunah, and everything is shining brightly, and then it's partial to him. There's no point in getting all worked up over this guy and thinking of ways that I could take revenge or something. There's no point. It's ridiculous. Because he was gaber, and when he was in the good place, he was misgaber. He might have felt that because he has a temper, so he might have felt a twinge, and he might have felt something like he wanted to respond. He wanted to give the guy a mishaber or something, but he was in a good place. So he stopped and he said, Shema Yisrael Shem Hashem Echad. This is ridiculous. Hashem Echad. And that was the end of it. He walked away. It was a time of godless. Fantastic. He feels great afterwards. It was hard, but he feels great because he was Zeichen. Here I did not react. I have a history of reacting and getting angry and getting all worked up, and I didn't. And you know why I didn't? Because I am a mammon, and because I held on to that emunah, and I was in that right frame of mind, working it out, and that's good. That feels good. I was Zeichen. So he feels it's lachti. So it's lachti. But the truth is, Byam he was maslich, and he was kaina. Byam was a rachatzi avoda, but that's only half the job. That's not the shleimus of this job. It's not the shleimus. It's a chatzi avoda.
Excuse me, if we hear a bracha on the tape when we're listening, are we supposed to say amen or no?
You don't have to say.
I listen to the class a lot. I hear this. Who's wondering?
Wait, but people usually do just.
That's right.
It's just there. It's chatzi avoda. Ki achshav, because now, yesh to avoda gedoliosa. Now, see, good, you put it in your pocket, that was great. You didn't get angry, why? I believe in God. This person, it's not the Indian, it's something else. He's a shliach. Why beat up a shliach? So, great. Now we have the avoda of what? A dir b'tachtona. Which is the purpose of creation. To take a piece, because he's got it in his pocket, to take out a piece of that, even if he could only muster up a drop of it, but a little piece of that godless, of that emunah, and that it should become teva mamish, to make it into teva. Teva mamish means that 2 weeks later, when I'm not in a great place, and someone gives me a mishaber, that I have already acquired this avoda, enough of it, that even without being in a great place and without all kinds of meditation and preparation, I walk away. I don't lose it. I walk away. She says, "L'chein Hashem Baruch machnis in the Vakash Baruch Hu." Well, let's look at the two little notes over there. Okay, you're not in a place of godliness, you're in a place of godliness. So when he says to take a chelik of the munah, it's just that's the reality. The reality is you're not feeling godless now, so try to pull out a little piece of that godless. Don't expect to be able to pull out the whole godless. You pull out a piece of that godless. That's all. Not all, a piece. A little piece of the godless. Lot. Now over time, first of all, believing that you have this stuff in your pocket, this good stuff, and you begin using it. Over time, lot, yali yoser. Again, it's building. Lot, slowly. Oh, more. Because that someone does something to you, it already became the teva to live in this reality of Hashem being in control and sending shluchim and so on. Again, when he said lefi madrigos, means that according to Madrega you are at that time, and everybody's different. So obviously there are people that by nature Hashem made them with more of a gevura and more of an inclination to get angry and to be very, very much makaz. And there are other people that they have less of an netiya to feel that way. They have less of an netiya. And it's easier for them. Back inside. So since Hashem is building us, that's what Hashem is Isaac, building us, so he puts you into a place of katnas, where you are exposed to some guy, some person, whatever it is, some negative thing, where you're hurt, you're insulted. And shows, and you're in a place of katnas. Shows lo meir lo mitzias Hashem. Hashem puts you into that. That's the first thing. The first thing is that before you even meet that person, you're in a place where the or is not. Hashem put you in that situation where the or inside of you is not strong. In other words, don't blame yourself and start going crazy about why is it that I don't feel anything or I don't feel like I used to. Hashem's Baruch now is getting you set for the next madrega. So right now, lo meir lo hat mitzias Hashem. Then the guy comes to upset you. That's the order. First there's katnas. Hashem puts you into a place of into a state of katnas. Of course, if you could on your own recognize certain things that you've done or that would contribute to your being in katnas, you need to try to correct that. Obviously, that's tshuva. That's avodas Hashem. But now, you're in a place of katnas because Hashem brought you to that nisayin, and if you failed it, you failed it. You got to try to fix it. But you're in a place of katnas. Either for no apparent reason, you're not feeling too much in your Yiddishkeit, or for an apparent reason, which you need to fix. But the Metzius is that you're in a place of katnas, and that HaKadosh Baruch Hu orchestrated. He's behind that. Hu nivchan, just like Avram Avinu vayaras hamakom mirachok. Hashem brought Avram Avinu to a place where Hashem was far from him. Mirachok vayaras Hashem mirachok. And then there was their keder. Hu nivchan im zeh kol kach mutbavo. So the test is, where are you in this avoda of making that which you succeeded in, that you didn't get angry last time? Where are you in your avoda of making that to something which is your healthy, natural way of dealing with things that you don't like? That it's become already more mutbabo. So if you find yourself ever saying to somebody after you yelled at that person, I'm sorry, it's not me. I don't know what happened to me. And the person knows you your whole life and says, no, that's exactly you. You've been yelling your whole life. So the answer that, well, that's just my personality, that's who I am, that's an answer to say why it's hard for you, why it's not voided for you, and maybe your friend is just very easy and it's harder for you, but it's not an answer. It's not an answer to say that that's just who I am, or I don't know what happened to me, that it's not me. All these demyonis. It is you, and it's something that you have to work on. It's not acceptable. It's harder for you because you have a tava that's strong, but it's not acceptable to insult people, to hurt people, and so on. It's not acceptable. That's not the tachlis. It's like to say, I had my davening was good, but just in this area, it's like a makom p'tur in my life. That I have no control over myself. It's not acceptable. This is the Dir B'Tachtonim. Right now, you're in a place of katnas. Your emunah is not where it was. Your davening is not where it was. Whatever. And here you are, being challenged with a situation that's very upsetting to you. Are you going to lose it? Are you going to be able to take out a little piece of that or of emunah from when things were stronger, and to build on that, more of a tava, to take a deep breath and to walk away? Or even if you respond, it's not the way that you would have normally done, with rage or something. That's also a step back. That's improvement. Doesn't mean that right away you're going to be able to necessarily, it's a kilo, there's nothing. But it doesn't have to be like crazy. It's better. And lot. It's a bisla. You work on it until it becomes teva mutba, until it becomes your teva. That might be that if you have a strong nature, it'll always bother you. I once told you a story that I heard from an old chavrusa of mine, that so some of you will remember it. It made a very big impression on me, this story. That he told me that he grew up, I think, in Crown Heights. And I don't know if many of you, the ones who are younger here, don't know that years ago in Crown Heights, it was not just Lubavitchers. It was a very Jewish community with all different types of Yidden that lived there. And my wife actually went to Crown Heights Yeshiva. I think after left Crown Heights. It was still called Crown Heights Yeshiva. But it was a beautiful Jewish neighborhood. I mean, it still is, but now it's the Yidden that there are Chabad. But I heard there were also some, I think there's some new...
there's crackers.
There's some new things going on over there. I didn't hear that, but... What? Should I hear this or not? I'm not sure. I'll leave it. Okay, Eliezer. there's some other things going on there. I don't know, but in those years there were a lot of rebbes there and rabbanim and so on. And one of the great tzaddikim that lived in Crown Heights was the Novominsker Rebbe, the old Novominsker Rebbe. So, Rav Nochem. And that's actually my son-in-law Shuli's great grandfather. So he lived there in Crown Heights, and this old chavus of mine said that boys will, I guess they say will be boys, and they were going there. The Novominsker Rebbe lived in a brownstone up on top, and the boys went and they would press the buzzer downstairs. And I asked, why did you pick the Novominsker Rebbe? He says, I don't know. Just like, how can we do the most horrible thing? So why would we do that to a regular Jew? We'd just go straight to the top. So they would press the buzzer, and it was he said it was the summer we were off in yeshiva, and he pressed the buzzer, and every single time the Rebbe would put on his coat because it was very hot. So he was sitting and learning with his talis coat. He put on his coat and put on his hat, and he'd go to the top of the stairs or something, and open the door and say, whatever. Yes, who's like in the sweetest way? Who's there? And they would do this. Like after the third time, they would hear like the Rebbetzin yelling at them, screaming at them from the window, "Get out of here! What are you doing?" So my friend told me that when he was older, he met the Rebbe someplace, and he asked for mechila. He said, I was one of those boys that we did that cool trick, and apparently they did it a few times, and I'm sorry, Rebbe. The Rebbe said, children do that. That doesn't. So then he said. So my friend Shmuel said to the Rebbe that the Rebbe never got angry. He's always smiling and so is that because the Rebbe didn't feel any anger, or the Rebbe didn't show any anger? So the Rebbe was very impressed with the question. He said, the Rebbe said, very good. So the Rebbe said that when I was a boy back in Europe, that my father was hearing Tish. It was a Tish. And there were a couple of Chassidim, Friday night, and a couple of Chassidim that were talking. They didn't stop talking. Well, my father was saying Torah. And these guys, like in the back, schmoozing. And I looked at them a few times. I was very, very, I had a strong temper. And I was very angry. I looked at them, and they still were talking. And I banged on the table, and one of the candles fell down on Shabbos. I went down. And I was makabel for myself, never to get angry the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. So then Shmuel asked, does that mean the Rebbe changed his nature? He doesn't get angry, or the Rebbe is angry and he does. Okay. So then the Rebbe just gave him a little pinch and said, "You think about that. Yeah, I want you to think about that." Mm-hmm. The Rebbe was telling him that I have a strong nature. I was created with banging on a table. I was created like that. That's my teva. And it's a lifetime of hard work. It's a lifetime of hard work. Yeah, it's a beautiful story. Because we always think, well, all the stories of tzaddikim, that they're like, nothing bothers them. They live in that world. This story is more impressive to me than all of the other stories. This story. So the Rebbe was takif. It's not avoda. But that is, so does it mean that he transformed his entire nature? It means that he refined his nature to such an extent that he was able to bring that to a place where, even though there could have been, even at that age, a tiny little bit of the old boy back in Warsaw someplace that banged the table, and and he had so much in his arsenal of Amunah and of Gadlus from the cut that even in this moment that perhaps on his madrega there was some tiny little thing of katness to tell the boys get lost, but he was able to already it became in his life a teva mudba of how to respond, of how to react. But he changed his entire existence, his spiritual makeup, which looks like sometimes when you read Svarim, but that's what he became a person that he was able to adapt a new way of responding to situations that are stressful or uncomfortable. And that's the practice of being an Oved Hashem. Yeah?
It's like what we learned, I think it was the name of Shabbat Tov, the back of it, the Rebbe talks about, it's the difference between holding the cover of the pot of boiling water or lowering the flame.
Right.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, it's Menev Shabbat Tov, very good. It's a long time ago. A good memory for Hashem.
Rebbe, is it any different than just growing up, like you said? That's the act of a child, and now I'm an adult, and I realize I'm an adult, and children do that.
Angry children usually go into angry adults.
Yeah.
But you're right. It comes with hopefully with maturation. That there's a natural ability to overcome an impulse. That's part of maturing. But a person still has his nature. And sometimes you discover it, like you could be like the nicest person,
And still get bothered.
and then you have children. You know what I mean? Then you have children, and you're still the nicest person when they're cute and they're little, right? And then they become teenagers, and then you look at yourself and say, "Well, what happened to me?" And the answer is, that's you. It didn't happen. It's just that there wasn't much going on for the last 15, 20 years in your life. You know, not of this magnitude, like where it really counts, you know. So you could be it's not so hard to be a tzaddik when you don't have a teenager. But when you get one of those, so then everything that you thought was gone and
Polished.
yeah, you mature and you like you have a necktie and everything. So all of a sudden you're acting like a lunatic and you're having these crazy arguments, and if you do this again, I'm cutting you out of my will, I'm disowning you. You say crazy stuff. All kinds of crazy things go on in your life. And that's not me, no, of course it's you. But it was quiet. There were no eruptions. The volcano was, you have these volcanoes in the world that they sit for like a couple hundred years and still, but then it's a bad day. It blows up or it's a lot of trouble. So, yeah.
I thought COVID was like
COVID?
was a good time where like you could tell what were the natural things inside of you, whether it be how you conduct your Shabbos or how you connect with your kids, because there's so much like a Sunday afternoon
Yeah.
where you really needed to.
Yeah, but can't wait for another COVID to come around.
That's true too.
Yeah, Hashem did something very remarkable to the world at that time, and there were many birurim which I've spoken about often. There are many birurim that took place during that time, which I still believe was a remarkable hachana for everything that's happening now to us in the world, and that it's going to be Mashiach. That there's that the whole world is, that we saw that there's such an Indian that the whole world, there was a birur for the whole world at one time. So Cain was going to be him. There was a birur. There was an amazing thing, a birur. And you saw the way how different people were dealing with it and they reacted in their homes and in their lives and with their Yiddishkeit. And so it was, I don't know if there are studies made or anything like this, what was going on during that time. When I say studies, I mean by Balei Ruach, people who are Amkanim and Avodah Hashem to understand what was that Hashem brought to the world, such an Indian. What was it? It was very, very remarkable. I think about it a lot. That was that time, and I know that the longing for it, without any of the sickness, that the longing for that is longing for Mashiach. That's what it is. for being for being there with what's important to you in life. Being able to sit quietly with your wife, with your kids, and being able to sit with a sefer in a place that there's nothing that I have to, nowhere that I have to go. Something that, so it was something remarkable. It was a taste of something very, very, very great that's Mitzvah coming up. Kach shafilu, the bottom of the page. Kach shafilu in begadlus lahirgish klal kaz. So when there was godless, when you were in a great place of godless, of avoid and amun and all of that, you didn't feel angry at all. You didn't feel lahirgish klal kaz. Of a katnas, kain margish is service kaz. But you're in katnas, so there it is. That old enemy of mine, my kaz, I'm feeling. Ein ze yerida. So the natural way of thinking of that is, I'm angry, so it's yerida time. Means it's yerida. Because I didn't get angry last week. Now I'm angry, so it's yerida. But the answer is, the katnas kain magish is kas. The truth is, you feel that it's yerida, but ein ze yerida. It's not yerida. It's not yerida because ein siluk moichen love. It's not the yerida. You feel like it's a yerida, but it's not. We always say it's a yerida, but it's not a yerida. It's a nisayin. It's an avoda. It's kiim zocha afilu ktsas pafos lichos. Now, how will you determine if you were successful in this nisayin of taking from the godless into the time of katnas? How will you know? That even if you get a little less angry, doesn't mean everything's 100% because you're in a place of katnas. But even if you're able to be a little more in control, a little less angry, zu hatzlacha shel katnas. That means you took that emunah, you took that madrega, and you brought it into a bad situation. Why? Because you conscious, or it's becoming more of a teva, but you reacted less. It was a little bit better. You might have been angry, but you spoke in a different tone. It wasn't the same way. Something. Zu hatzlacha shel katnas. Ki ze omer, she'etzliach lahachnis l'toch hateva shelo, means that you were successful to take some of the madrega of amuna and to inject it into your katnas, into your teva rather, into your nature, into your teva, to you, into yourself. Chelik mashazocha lahavim megadlus. Chelik, a little piece. Now there might be you might have a setback later on with something, but it's a continuous construction site throughout life. Chelik mashazocha lahavim megadlus. Byam is mashiyesh la'adam bekatnas zuhi madrigos hamitis. And your true madrega is what you're left with during a time of katnas. That's where you really are. That's where you're really holding. Because that's what you have succeeded in changing it to something in your life. It's something. Let's finish this paragraph. To changing it into something into making it a part of your life. Again, it doesn't mean that it's not possible to have a setback because you have a certain, because you have a teva mutba that's stronger in you from the time that you're a little kid, and so there could be setbacks, but life is an avoda of continuously building upon those madrigas until it becomes more of a teva, and there might be a bad day or so that it didn't work for you, but you continue. So say the avoda. The godless are the makabel musagim. In your place of godless, you acquire certain musagim, certain healthy, correct way of thinking. V'humargish es hamadrega gavoa, and you feel a strong madrega because you're in a good place and you have emunah is strong and you understand thinking in a clear way during the time of godless. Now your avodah is to strengthen this, to be kained, to acquire it. Shiagish osa v'yavan osa ma'od, to feel it, to understand this godless. Ad shemashu mizeh yikonis l'toich mamish chelik mimenu, until lios mamish chelik, until you're able to draw from some of this and to make it into a chelik of who you are, so that even during the time of katnas, you're already in a better place. Those who nichnas the katnas, and Hashem puts you into some katnas, and then is revealed what have you succeeded in acquiring? What have you succeeded in acquiring? Again, it doesn't have to be that it's perfect. That's a mistake, and that's where people get messed up with that. No, just it's better. It means that you acquired something, and the next time, and over time, it's better. It's better. And you think about it, then you go through another godless, and to try to pick up more of that, to strengthen yourself more with that. What you've been able to bring inside of your life, that it's become a teva, so that even though, again, there might be still, because that's your nature, just like with the Romanski Rebbe, he didn't say what it was, but that's the story, that there still might have been an impulse that was there, but it's much, much, much less than it used to be from when he banged on the table. Much less. Like the volume, the heat is much, much lower than it was. And it doesn't take the effort that it took when you began working on it. It doesn't take such a huge effort. It's become less of an effort. It requires less of an effort. It's becoming more of a teva, and that's a sign. Even though there might have been some, you felt angry, but that you lowered. That is a siman that you're a balavoda, and you're part of your Hashem's program of godless katnas, and so on. Which, if you learn the pnimius of what the whole Leil Pesach is about, it's all about godless katnas. It's all Leil Seder. In the Kisveri, it's all about a madrega of godless, that shalom, that was not Seder. It came like the way Hashem took us out of Mitzrayim, and he just all of a sudden revealed to us the Zugili Shechina, like we say in the Seder. And we want a place of godless, and then comes what? Katnas. And the whole Sfira Sodom is going from the godless of Pesach. First there's the Leil Pesach, and the whole Seder Pesach, to make a Seder out of your life. And then you come to the Sphere, which is a place of Katnas. Sphere is a time of Katnas. But how do you take the godless of the Seder? Pesach is the Rosh Hashanah of Amunah. Pesach is godless, super godless. Moichin the godless is the whole avodah. Pesach is Moichin the godless. But that's a gift, really. Hashem helps you Moichin the godless. And now during Sfira, so there's first Chesed, and there's Gvura, and so on. And how do I take this Or of Pesach? And how do I bring it into the Madregas and the Muchais of Sfira until I get to Rabbi Shimon, until I get to Lag Boim, the fire of Rabbi Shimon, and so on, and then towards Har Sinai, it's the whole Seder of this time of the year that we're now coming to. Jim.
I just wanted to say that such an amazing Kiddush, that it's not either or. It's that you're building on the godless. And I was thinking about, if you're mindful during the godless, that you're building a reservoir. Then you're taking, during that godless time, you're also building that part of yourself that
right.
you can use it.
You have it in the bank, and you have it on your credit card, and you could use that credit. It's there. It's in the bank, and you made that deposit when you were in godless. When things were going well, you made a deposit, and you have what to draw upon. It's a whole different way of thinking. That it was. Now it's not. Now I'm bankrupt. No, you're not bankrupt. I feel it. I don't feel it. You have an account. You could draw from the account. You have credit. Draw. Yeah, done.
I heard a share this week with Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi spoke about the Rabbi Akiva with the rock, the water dripping. He never saw it. You never see
the rock chain, how it happens.
How it happens, but it's happening. And,
correct, right.
And when I heard this year, I was thinking the same thing.
That's exactly it. It's happening. And the person has to be mechazik, it's a munah that's happening. during a time of my davening, my learning, my avodah, it's happening.
Even though you don't see it.
It's there, it's in the bank. And how do I know that I have it on account? You know, because when I'm going through a difficult time, I put the card in, and it gave me, it went through. It went through. It worked. It might not be perfect, but it went through. It went through. It's a whole different way of thinking. It went through. Now, kaksha katnus mishemesh shtei dvar. So katnus is for these two things. Mitzad echad, on the one hand, he achan legadlus habat. It prepares you for the upcoming, for a higher madrega, a new level of godless. Like Shvir Someone gets you ready for what? For Shavuos. It's a new godless. By being faithful and by staying with the program and getting up and doing davening and doing what you have to, not letting go of halacha, not letting go of being an elachiyid. So, olam legadlus haba. You go to it. That's one thing. By being faithful, by staying, even though you're not feeling anything, staying on course, doing what you have to, showing up for davening, learning, doing what you have to. Mitzad sheni, yashlomas hagadlus hakademis. So on the one hand, it's a way through Kabbalah soul and being faithful and loyal. That itself is an aliyah to a higher madrega. Mitzad sheni, yashlomas hagadlus hakademis. It's the hashloma, it's of that madrega of gadlus. By taking something from it, from that godless, and making it a part of you. These two things are completing one the other. Only by having acquired something from that godless before, your spiritual stature has, your spiritual level has become greater, has increased. Then yuchal alos the godless above. Then that will take you to Shavuos. That will take you to higher madrega, the next godless. And then you could draw from that. Now you could draw from a higher madrega, and that's how you build yourself. But he says the practical avodah is preparing to prepare you for a higher madrega, and in a more sublime and natural way, you're building up that teva. It's just something that you're not so cognizant of, but it's happening. As I said before, you still always have to pay attention. That you should be conducting yourself in a better way than you have in the past. Now, during a time of katnus, so we spoke about this earlier in the Maimer. During a time of katnus, so you're not able to learn on the normal level that you're learning. You're not able to stay as focused and go as deep into the learning as you're able to. But the katnus has ended, Baruch Hashem, and you're now in a place that's better and godless. So what people will often do is they'll just stay with the lower level of learning because it's easier. Like, why work hard? But the answer is you've grown. You're out of that, so you should be back to your game, and even better. Kana kinyan mesuyim shel havana. Regardless, you as I yizar shekasher bar katnus shel yashel l'shitchius gedarko. So you have to work that. You shouldn't just go to that same shitchius, that same superficial level of learning the next time. It should be better than it was last time. Again, it doesn't have to be but it should be better. Eliyiru ma kvar kana b'kinyan, to think about how I was kind of something during the godless, and then during this next time of katnas, it should be better than the last katnas. There's something the same. You work at it. It should be better. So it shouldn't be so superficial, the learning. Now, even during katnas, the learning is stronger than it's been in the past. The earlier time, my mamish just had to learn very, very simple or whatever. I couldn't concentrate. Don't say, oh, that's how it was last time, so that's how it is this time. No, that was last time. This is this time. Try to make it better this time. A little more ksas yosef avana, because you have acquired something. So even your katnas could be a better katnas. It doesn't have to be the same katnas. It could be an improved katnas. It doesn't have to be that katnas that was. It could be improved katnas. Don't just say, well, this is how I act during katnas. I go back to, because I'm not feeling, so this is how I act when I'm not really in a strong place. No. It could be a better katnas. It doesn't have to be the same katnas as before. That's a simon that you're in this work of being a balavoda, that you're working on things. You're not just going on automatic. So we're going to begin Mitzvah Hashem next week with the Maimer of how does one work on feeling more of a Kadosh Baruch Hu in one's life? How do you work on that?